States. It's Mark from the United States.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Mark from the States. How we doing today? I'm doing fantastic. I hope you are as well. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate each and every one of you. You know that I do. First off, I'm happy to report that my son is on his flight back from London. They left Heathrow today. Let's see. As of the recording of this video, a couple hours ago. So we're going to be heading to LAX, which is Los Angeles, to pick him up later this afternoon. So I'm excited to see him. I'm excited to hear all about his trip. I know it started off kind of slow. The issue, I think, that I can only imagine, I won't know until he actually says it, but at the beginning of the trip, it's a long flight. Then the next day they're on a bus that takes 4 hours, and then the next day they're on another bus that takes 5 hours, and it's just, I think the long, bus travels really kind of dampens the excitement a little bit. But once I think, and then of course, he got to Scotland, and he loved it, and then it was another 5 hour train ride or whatever it was, 4.5 hours to London. Once he got to London, he was having the time of his life. And I could tell because he never contacted, me. Apparently, I just found out that him and mom were texting on the side. So I was left out of the loop there. But he was having a great time, did a ton of things in London, didn't have to get on a bus and, travel a lot of distance. They were able to get out and walk, and, the 3 days they were there, got to see a bunch of things. So I'm anxious to hear what he has to say. But my guess is when he got to Scotland, from that point on, I think the trip really took off, and I think maybe, I'm happy that he got to go to Ireland and see Dublin and Kilkenny and those things. But I think maybe if we were to do it again or something, it'd probably be just straight to England or to Scotland, then to England or something like that, because you can do more. You're not traveling from place to place as much, but it is what it is. I think he overall it'll be a positive trip for him based on what I've seen. He looked like he had a lot of fun. He got to see a lot of things. Cool thing is, a couple days ago he saw Prince William. They happened to be at Buckingham Palace doing the tourist thing, and Prince William's motorcade showed up, so he got to see him either drive by or get out or something. I'm not sure. I'll get more information later, but that's pretty cool, I think. I mean, that's not an everyday thing, and it's pretty good timing. So yeah, I think all in all, he had a good time. He's ready to come home. He is ready to sleep in his own bed. He's ready to eat his comfort food. From what I understand, he did try fish and chips. He wasn't a big fan. Now, he's not just a straight fish eater. I don't know if he had haddock or if he had cod. I didn't want to pepper him with those kind of questions. I had to learn about 5 days into the trip, halfway about, to kind of just let him have his own trip. I was asking too many questions, saying, "Oh, you should check this out," and sending him information on things and that he's seeing, or and I just, what, Dad, I just had to step away. This is his deal. Let him experience it the way he is going to experience it. I stop meddling. I'm trying to put myself in his shoes, and probably wouldn't want my dad to keep sending me, "Hey, you should check this out. You should go here. Did you notice this?" That sort of thing. So that took a little bit for me to do, to kind of just take a step back, let him experience it. Hopefully he did. And I think once I did that, I think it just allowed him to do, not that he listens to me anyway, but who knows. But I think for my own sanity, because I was like, gosh, I hope he sees this. Gosh, I just want him to be able to experience everything and as much as he can, that I just need to let it go. And I think once I did, I was better for it. I think he was better for it. But he, from all accounts, from what I hear from Mom, he was well taken care of, treated nicely on his visit there. So that's good. So I'm just happy to have him home. So hopefully the flight is easy. It's long, but we'll see him this afternoon. So I'm excited to see that. Hey, happy Armed Forces Day. I'm a little confused about this. It's kind of like your Veterans Day, if I remember reading that right. Today, the 29th, is supposedly the day, but I also see like days of in May. So I'm not quite sure when this is celebrated. It's not really celebrated. It's not a national holiday or anything like that, but it is a way for those of you who appreciate the armed forces, which I'm a big supporter. So I think it's pretty cool that you do it. So it's like a Veterans Day kind of a thing. So awesome. You'll have to let me know the ins and outs. What's up with the two dates? Maybe I'm reading that wrong, but like if you type into Google UK Armed Forces Day, it gives you a date of May, middle of May or something. But yet today is also mentioned. And we're going to look at another newspaper today. We've done quite a few of them. Someone said, hey, you need to check out the Times. Now, from what I understand, this was, of course, I've kind of just briefly did a little research. It's the largest paper circulated based on circulation. It's the first, this I thought was very fascinating. It's the first to use Times in their name, which Times of India, New York Times, all have then since, kind of copied it, if you will. They were the first to use Times for the title or name of the paper, and it was started in 1821. You'll have to fact check me on that. I'm just trying to remember what I read, but pretty impressive. So I'm surprised I haven't done this one yet, but we've done The Guardian, we've done Telegraph, we've done, was it The Sun? That was a doozy. Of course, BBC, I believe, was the first one we did. What else have we? Oh, GB News. Okay. And it's kind of like our Fox here. That's where the kind of the vibe it gave. So yeah, busy. I imagine it's been pretty busy. You got an election here in a few days. On Thursday, for all of you. So that's cool, I guess. We had our debate. I'm sure some of you noticed what a shit show that is. Oh my God! It was almost like a comedy show. It was like oh boy! But Joe Biden not doing well. Trump actually rather surprised me being so calm. At least for the first 2/3 of he started to get into his Trump tendencies there towards the end when they're talking about golf and whatnot. But all in all, pretty comical. Biden didn't look good. He didn't look good. But it's not a surprise. This is something we all kind of expected. It's just that the man is where he's at in life. So I don't know what they're expecting. So, I'm jealous that you have your election next week. I wish ours was next week so we can be done with it. I still got 6 more months to go, 5 more months. What is it? 5 more months. Less than 5 months to go. It's just like, oh my gosh, this is, and it's only going to get worse. So, not looking forward to that. But let's go ahead and jump out here. We are going to be looking at the Times today and make sure it's the UK. Yep. So it's your standard setup. As you know, I like to look at these newspapers, kind of like how easy they are to read. Not too concerned about their political leanings. It's not why I'm reading these because of one way or the other. I just like to see how they compare to like our newspapers and news sites and so on. So I always go to the UK tab to make sure we're just going to be getting information that's going on in the UK there. Of course, a lot of it, as you know, bleeds over, has some sort of connection to our country, my country, that is. So, so it does look pretty standard here. I like how they have all the different topics here. That's typical newspapers. The Times does give me a more of a straight news kind of thing. That may not be true, but that's the feel. It's not. Some of the websites you see are just very, flashy headlines, with the photo to match. And this just seems more newspapery. Is that even a word? I don't know. But that's what it gives me. I'm not going to get into too many of these subjects. I'm going to skip over things that I, one, don't care about, and two, that I don't want to get involved in and discussing. I would imagine the main topic for a lot of you is the election and everything that surrounds the election, if you're anything like us. But I'm digging this portrait. This was taken before the diagnosis, but it's good. I know his other portrait had gotten a lot of comments. That red one, where it's all red, and I know they're completely different, but I think this is very classic looking. And I like and it was released to mark Armed Forces Day. That's good. I like it. It's a good picture. So yeah, Sunak has been tiptoeing around for our. Now the gloves are off. Nigel Farage, is he running? He's not a candidate. Reform candidate. Oh. So he's kind of like the head of the Reform Party. Is that how I'm understanding that? Okay. And I imagine he's pretty right wing, what people are calling right wing these days, I guess. I've seen him on Fox, so I would imagine he's right leaning, at least. I don't pay too much attention to him, but yeah, they're using some language there I don't want to get involved with. But I have to agree here why we should stop treating dogs like babies. I agree there. I have cats that I may talk to them like they're babies, but I still treat them like cats. They're not gonna, eat at the dinner table with me, and I'm not gonna carry them in a backpack and take them places. They stay home. I don't know about that. Don't want to get involved in any of that. Yes, it's the only problem about news these days. So more about. Look at this here. British yachtsman found passed away in Greece with fractures. British yachtsman has been found dead with a head wound off the creek. Oh, shall we? It's been updated. Shall we? Oh, isn't that a beautiful picture? Can we see it without having to pay? Oh, God, it's not going to let us, is it? Okay. Here's a paywall, everyone. You'll have to let me know what that's all about. That's interesting. Is this a mystery? Or is it pretty straightforward? Someone will have to let me know there. Rishi Sunak tells Nigel Farage, my daughters hear the abuse. Oh, is he... So does this kind of go back up here? The candidates are plastered. Oh, God, they're being rude and stuff. Yeah, you can't involve the family, no matter what. You can't involve the family unless family is part of the, politics. I can only talk about what we're dealing here. I mean, you have Joe Biden, his son is in the news, and so I was really hoping that he wouldn't talk about Hunter Biden at all in the debate. I think it may have came up, but only after he started talking. Yeah, I just don't. I just wish he'd leave the family out of it. I really do. No matter what, it's dumb. It's kind of a cheap shot, low hanging fruit kind of a thing. I don't agree with it unless they're part of the party. Running for office and all that stuff. Kimmy, I do think David Tennant is a misogynist. Okay. Now that David Tennant, that's the Doctor Who guy, right? He was in a show that I watched here in the States. So I kind of remember who he is. So we're going down to education. So they're going to follow, are they going to follow these topics up here? We are going to find out. Still has this newspaper vibe. It's talking about just everything to do with our universities are in peril. Scaring off foreign students won't help. I can kind of maybe answer to this. School trips too expensive for a third of parents. Yeah, depending on where you go. In my case, it was to the UK for my child. He did this trip with the school, and it's it cost us like 5,000 US, and he spent on top of that. He spent about $500 on himself. Now, a lot of it was probably unneeded. I know he bought some clothes in Dublin, which he could have gotten here. Not to say it's more expensive there, but it's just like, if you're going to spend your money, why are you going to a store that we have here in Ventura? That he could have gotten the exact same thing. But he did pick up a England football jersey, which I thought was cool. Hopefully he asked us if we wanted any souvenirs. And, of course, my wife says coffee mug, which we have 1,000 coffee mugs in her cupboard. And it's just like, but, and I asked for a shot glass. So hopefully he can buy a shot glass for me, because we do collect shot glasses of places we visit and stuff like that. So it'd be cool to have a shot glass, so every time we see it, we can go, oh, well, that was Cooper. But yeah, they can be expensive. But this is a special deal. This isn't a trip to the museum, locally or anything like that. So I don't want to get involved in that. Met officer accused of taking cash from actor's body. Yeesh. Officer charged for stealing from... oh, man, that's awful. The FBI joins hunt for hackers who stole NHS records. Okay. That's good. Let's see here. This is in the category of defense. Hunted by Taliban for growing roses. The army gardener lives in fear. What? Well, that's piqued my interest. They gonna make me pay again, or can I read this one? No. 3 years after Kabul fell, Syed Shah is destitute and knows his work for British troops in Afghanistan makes him a target. So yeah, they're gonna try to. That's a bummer. It's a bummer that I have to pay to see more here. So that's gonna take it down a notch, as a lot of the other websites you didn't have to pay to be able to read the articles. Now we're in obituaries. Janice Page, the actress who swung from a chandelier with Fred Astaire, passed away. David Combe, the businessman who kept Taylor Swift's tour on the road, seemed like he's no longer with us. Kinky Friedman, Stetson wearing country musician admired by Bob Dylan. And Gerhard Agner, German head of UEFA. Seems like he passed away. Now we're on to the royal family. So, yeah, this is kind of a big deal here. Of course, I was immediately told as soon as it happened by a lot of you, and I thank you for that. I am so bummed out that this happened to her. You know how I all feel about her. She's awesome, and yeah, just praying that she has obviously a quick recovery, but just a recovery in general. Blows to the head, no joke, especially at her age. It's and I know she's dealt with something like this before, being around horses as long as she has. She's been injured, but from what I understand, it was a kick to the head or something to that extent. Yeah, not good. So, but she's been released, from what I understand. According to this, confirms it. Leaves hospital. It says for minor head injuries. I hope she's okay. Hopefully it is minor. We saw the portrait. Prince of Wales calls 2022 Earthshot Prize winner, Queen of Africa. We've done a video on the Earthshot. I think it's a great deal. Like I mentioned, Cooper got to at least see his motorcade. I don't know if he actually, and I won't know until later on today, if he actually saw him in person. But I don't know if he texted, I saw Prince William today. Now, I don't know if he even knows what Prince William, or, what he looks like, or if someone just told him that's who that was. I'll find all that out later. Wimbledon, hopeful Princess of Wales will present trophies. That would be great. That's kind of a traditional thing for her, right? Gosh, Wimbledon, that's coming up. Has it started? There's really only one tennis tournament that I watch, and it generally is Wimbledon, and it's generally at the end. I don't watch any of the earlier matches. Not a huge tennis fan, especially when the grunting became a real thing. Oh, it's so hard to pay attention. Now we're on to science. Yeah, I agree. Stop treating them like babies. Recreates oldest beer. Okay. Ancient Egypt scribes had RSI just like today's office worker. Interesting. Fossils reveal Neanderthal altruism for children with Down syndrome. Oh. Okay. Now we're on to the environment. Cools down as heat records are set around the world. It's been hot here. We have a heating wave, but it's not the hottest it's ever been, especially in many states. From the early part of the 20th century, it's been hotter on record, but maybe as a nation average, I don't know what they're talking about really. UK households pay more for electricity than all of the EU. That's interesting. I wish I could read the article to find out why that is. So you'll have to let me know. Some of you I know read this paper. A lot of you recommended that I take a look at this. Just Stop Oil activists arrested over planned airport disruption. That's awesome. I like the fact that they were able to arrest them before they did it. As you saw, they were at the U.S. Open, or maybe not the U.S. Open, but one of the tournaments, golf tournaments here in the States. Some variation of the Just Stop Oil people were, climate people were interrupted. The last hole of the tournament starts, you know, doing their usual thing. They even, we have a couple weeks ago, they have a baseball game between in Congress. So everybody in Congress, they have Republican against Democrat baseball game every year. It's entertaining for the sheer fact that all these people are older, and I've never actually watched the game, but I've seen clips, and they jumped the fence and went out on the field, and everybody loved it when they just got tackled, which is always the best thing when you see those kind of people start interrupting stuff. Watching them get tackled is always a joy. Let's see here, legal. Stories that I won't be able to read. I kept chloroform as a stain remover. Holly Willoughby plot. Suspect tells court. That's very unlikely. Most people keep stain remover as a stain remover, but we'll see. I don't know the case. Let's see here. Investigations. British criminal buys luxury Dubai properties from jail. And they're showing Boris Johnson here. Scott Benton resigns as MP, triggering another by-election. So he did something that he shouldn't have. Sounds like. God, I wish I could get into the story. British gas debt collectors breaking into valuable people's homes. That's not good. Shouldn't be doing that. Investigation. Russell Brand accused of... Oh, don't want to get into that. Of course it's funny. Russell Brand, who... He's an interesting case study because of his political shift, I guess. He was very outspoken, what we would call liberal here, and his antics were very kind of over the top. And obviously you know who he is, and no one seemed to care. You know what I mean? But as soon as his political leanings, I think he still claims to be a liberal, but his political leanings changed or perceived to be changed. It's funny how all these things are coming out of the woodwork to kind of, and I just use Russell Brand, but as an example, you can certainly put anybody into that slot. It just, the media, how the media will, if you start to sway from what they want you to say, the negative things, which they've known about for years. That's the issue. Whatever. I don't watch Russell Brand, so I don't know the inside story, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but it just seems once you kind of sway away from the herd, these issues that they've known about for years that they didn't care about to report are now all coming out. And you see it over and over and over with many people. And I'm not saying the right does it too. The other side does it too. It's disgusting. So, you just wonder. It's like they keep it in their pocket as a hey, just in case kind of thing. So celebrate the start of Wimbledon with a Scotty's strawberry daiquiri. It's early here in the morning, so it doesn't sound good, but would like to try it. That actually looks really refreshing, and you could, technically have that for breakfast for sure. We love a cocktail at Alba, so we asked mixologists from Scotland to share the recipe for their signature drink. Looks good. I don't know. I'm all on it. 5 things to do this week. I don't care about that. And are we at the end here? It looks like it. So, all in all, as a newspaper website, I think so far, I don't know how many more we have of newspapers to go through. So far, it looks most like I would imagine the newspaper looks like. Pretty straightforward. What I like, they do have some glaring headlines, as you can see here, but kind of like gotcha to get you to click on it kind of a thing. I don't like that it's behind a paywall. I don't like that, but they got to make their money, I understand. So I probably won't be reading. I would just go here and look at the headlines and then maybe Google it or something. Look for it in another paper. But a lot of the others allowed you to actually, read the article. But yeah, I like the presentation of it. And they all do this, but it just seems like this is so much easier right here with all the different topics, I guess, at the top. And then I know they all do it. Just seems it's not in your face, I guess is what I'm saying. A lot of the newspapers that we've looked at, I call them newspapers, but they're obviously the websites, are too much. There's like ads everywhere. These photos are just taking up the majority of the page. I like to have more writing, which, granted, these are all just pictures with a little, snippet headline underneath, but it's not like I don't feel overwhelmed by it. Does that make sense? So I do give this high marks for that. It doesn't seem like, and another thing is it doesn't seem like I'm getting a narrative here. It doesn't seem like I'm being steered to have my thinking steered just based on what. Now, the article may be completely different. Not knowing what the political leanings of this paper is, but I wouldn't be able to tell just based on these titles of these articles or video. It's I couldn't, and that's what I like about it. It allows you to kind of, at least on the surface, it allows you to kind of form your own opinion, I guess. But again, don't know because can't read the article unless you pay the money, which I get. They got to make money. I understand. But the Sunday Times, I guess, is the big one. Okay. Interesting. Now, I think all in all, the website is one of the better ones we've looked at. So, yeah, thumbs up. Well done. They do have sport, but did we? I was going to say, I don't remember going through sport. Yeah, they didn't have it just on the page scroll. They don't have it, but they do have it up here. No, they don't. I kind of like that. Some of the other ones were heavily sport, which is okay. I'm okay. I love sports. But when you go to read the news, it's not all about football. They do have a mention of Wimbledon here and there, but that's an event coming up. And it makes sense. It's one of the biggest sporting events of the year. So that would be fun to go to. I have to say, like I mentioned, I'm not a big Wimbledon guy, or I should say, I'm not a big tennis guy, but I would love to go to Wimbledon. Have some champagne. That would be fun. That would be fun. All right, everyone, let me know what we should be looking at next. I appreciate all of you coming. We have a video coming up after this, so look forward to seeing you all in that one. And thanks a lot for coming and hanging out and hearing about my day and Cooper and all that stuff. You guys are awesome. So thank you so much. And we'll see you soon. All right. Bye.
Mark from the States, Mark from the States, it's Mark. And he's from